All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of construction recruitment.
Oh, yeah, it's a fascinating area.
Really is. And in Australia especially, that paints a really interesting picture
Definitely does.
of how things are done now and how they could be done better. Like, honestly, you wouldn't believe how much of the recruitment process, even today, still relies on manual work.
Oh, absolutely. It's remarkable how much we're still clinging to spreadsheets and emails.
I know, right? For everything, vetting candidates, getting client approvals, onboarding new hires.
The whole shebang.
And the thing is, it's not just about being old-fashioned.
Yeah.
I mean, these manual processes, they're slow.
Oh, incredibly inefficient.
They're prone to errors, and they can lead to all sorts of delays in getting those tradies out on site.
Which ultimately costs everyone time and money.
Exactly. But the good news is things are starting to change.
They are. There's a real push towards streamlining and automating the process end to end.
Yeah, and that's where this whole idea of integrating eRecruitment with onboarding comes in.
Absolutely.
So to kick things off, maybe you can walk us through the traditional way of doing things, just to set the stage,
Sure. So traditionally, a construction company looking to hire, let's say, a group of electricians for a new project would start by advertising the positions, right?
Right.
They'd then receive a whole bunch of applications, which they'd have to manually sort through to create a shortlist.
Usually in a giant spreadsheet, I imagine.
Exactly. And then that shortlist would be sent off to the client for approval, usually through email chains back and forth.
And then more emails to schedule interviews and more paperwork to collect references and so on and so forth.
Precisely. And all of this before the onboarding process even begins.
Right, because then you've got to collect even more information from the new hires, schedule medical checks, order BPE, organize induction courses.
It's a logistical nightmare, especially when you're dealing with large-scale projects and multiple contractors.
Absolutely. It's mind-boggling how much time and effort is wasted on these repetitive manual tasks.
And not just wasted, but it also introduces a huge margin for error.
Oh, absolutely. Typos, missed deadlines, misplaced documents.
All of which can lead to costly delays and rework.
So, with all these challenges in mind, how do eRecruitment platforms, those fancy new applicant tracking systems or ATSs, help address these issues?
Well, for starters, a good ATS can really streamline those initial stages of recruitment. I mean, imagine having all your applications, candidate profiles, shortlists, client approvals.
All in one central system.
Exactly. No more spreadsheets, no more email chains. Everything's digitized and easily accessible.
So recruiters can spend less time on admin and more time on actually engaging with candidates and building relationships.
Precisely. And not just that, some of these ATS platforms are even integrated with digital tradie databases.
Tradie databases, what are those?
They're essentially online platforms where tradies can create profiles showcasing their skills, experience, and qualifications.
Kind of like a LinkedIn, but specifically for construction workers.
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty of these databases is that they make it so much easier for companies to find qualified tradies for their projects.
So instead of waiting for applications to come in, recruiters can actively search for candidates who fit the bill.
Exactly, and it works both ways. Tradies can also use these databases to search for job opportunities that match their skills and interests.
Sounds like a win-win for everyone involved.
It really is, and it's just one example of how technology is transforming the construction recruitment landscape.
Yeah, so let's talk more about that integration piece, because it seems like that's where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to have separate systems for eRecruitment and onboarding when you're essentially dealing with the same worker information, right?
Absolutely. And that's what these really advanced cutting-edge ATS platforms are starting to do. They're starting to build onboarding features right into the system.
Wow, so once a tradie is approved for a job, the system automatically triggers the next steps in the onboarding process.
Precisely. So things like scheduling medical checks, ordering PCE, enrolling them in those induction courses.
All that happens seamlessly without having to manually re-enter information into a separate system.
Exactly. It's all about automating those repetitive tasks and creating a smooth, efficient workflow.
And I imagine this saves everyone a ton of time and reduces the risk of errors.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. No more duplicate data entry, no more lost paperwork, no more chasing down signatures.
And tradies can get onboarded and out to the job site much faster.
Exactly. It really streamlines the entire process.
Okay, so we've talked about the traditional way of doing things, the challenges, and how eRecruitment platforms are trying to solve those problems. Now, are there any specific companies leading the charge in this integration space?
Absolutely. There are some really innovative companies out there. One that stands out in particular is Cinchi.me. Yeah, they're doing some really interesting things. Not only are they integrating e-recruitment and onboarding, but they're also aiming to connect a whole bunch of other workflows related to workers.
Wow, so we're talking about going beyond just recruitment and onboarding.
Exactly. They're looking at things like payroll, HR functions, even safety training, all in a single system.
That's amazing. So it's like creating this central hub for all worker-related data.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that Cinchi.me's approach is all about breaking down data silos. They want to make it easy for different systems to talk to each other so information can flow seamlessly between departments.
That's a game changer. I mean, imagine the potential for increased efficiency, reduced errors, better communication.
Oh, the possibilities are endless. And this is why I think construction companies that are hesitant to adopt these kinds of solutions might really struggle to stay competitive in the long run.
Yeah, especially in the current market.
The construction industry in Australia is facing so much pressure to do more with less, to be more efficient, to keep costs down.
And these integrated systems offer a tangible way to achieve those goals.
Exactly. Really highlights that need for greater efficiency in the industry.
So what we're seeing is a shift, a real move towards a more connected, more automated future for construction recruitment.
Absolutely. It's a future where technology is used to streamline processes, to empower workers, and to help construction companies thrive.
Well said. And for anyone involved in construction recruitment, whether you're a recruiter, a project manager, or a tradie yourself, it's time to start thinking about how you can embrace these changes and prepare for a future where seamless connected workflows become the norm.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But this conversation about integration and automation, it's not ending here. So keep those gears turning, folks, and ask yourself, what other workflows in your business could benefit from this type of integration? Because the possibilities are truly exciting. Thanks for joining us.